I'm not sure if any of you guys have experienced this quite yet, or if you ever will, but a single event can change your life, and most definitely will change your trajectory depending on how you decide to cope with the event that has happened to you. First off, we're going to look at Thorfinn, then we're going to look at Canute, and how these two events that happened to them at a kind of youngish age completely changed them as a person. First off, there's Thorfinn. So Thorfinn, he was just this happy little boy living in Iceland. He loved his life. He enjoyed what he was doing. Well, to a certain extent, he wanted a little bit more. He wanted a little bit more fighting. He wanted just wanted more out of life. And he knew that he had to get that because he had a feeling that his dad was some secret man, or at least he knew that after these people came to the island, he found out the truth about who his father actually was. And from this, he was like, I want to go out and fight. I want to go fight this war. I want to go do these things. But he didn't understand what it really meant. And that's what happens to a lot of us. We don't understand what is really going to come our way until it happens, and when it happens, that's when we're tested. There's this thing that people say where school, they give you the lessons, then they give you the test. Whereas in life, you get the test first, and then you have to learn the lessons afterwards. You have to go live your life this way. And that's exactly what happened to Thorfinn. Thorfinn wanted to go to war. He wanted to fight these men, and he wanted to be praised by his father. Yeah, as soon as he saw what war really was, it completely changed him. Like, as soon as his dad died, as soon as Thor's died, he wasn't the same kid anymore. He wasn't the same young innocent man, well, boy, I guess, that he was prior to sneaking onto the ship and seeing the events transpire. He was thrown into this world full force at such a very young age, and so many of us have this exact same thing happen to us. We're forced into this world when we go into high school or when we go into college. More of you, I'm gonna guess that it happens when you're in college than it does when you're in high school, or it could just happen when you move out of the house that you've been living in for the past 18 years. You're gonna have these struggles, these hardships, and you're gonna have two options. You can either crumble under the fear and run back home, or you can straighten up and put your life in order by figuring out what you want to do, figuring out what you want to accomplish, and figuring out what steps are necessary to be able to reach the goals that you want to in life. That's exactly what Thorfinn did. He knew he had to avenge his father's death. Even though his father told him he had no enemies, his father said, like, you're just a boy, like, you can go do what you want to go do. But he knew deep down that he had to avenge his father from the man who killed him, called Askeladd. Askeladd, this guy, he was somebody that you never really understood. Like, he was a smart man. He was a very, very smart and wise man, and he was doing everything in his power to make sure that he could maintain the life that he wanted to live. He used Thorfinn to his beck and whim, and Thorfinn, he got a father out of it that he wasn't necessarily expecting. Like, you can tell in the last episodes when he finally drops his dagger, because throughout the whole series, he's like, don't touch my dagger, give me my dagger back, that's my father's, I have to use that to avenge him by killing the man who killed him. But at the end, you see it drop, and you see Thorfinn really show his emotions of what Askeladd really meant to him. He didn't really want to kill him, and he never would, because it was just the process that he wanted to go through, because that's who we thought he needed to be. But on the first day, when he was going to originally kill Askeladd, he decided that he didn't want to because he had honor. He knew that a true Viking, a true man, would not kill somebody in their sleep. So Thorfinn didn't do this. He waited, he bit his tongue, he struggled, he fought, he grew up at a very young age. Like, he's probably more grown than most men are. Actually, I would say almost all men, because nowadays society is creating a lot of weak men that don't understand how to provide, men that don't understand how to work, men that don't understand the values of what it means to be a man. And it's sad to see, because obviously Thorfinn, he understood that at a very young age when he was an early teenager. And then all of a sudden he runs into Canute. And he's like, there's no way you and I are the same age. It's just not possible. We can't be the same age. You're a child. Due to the fact that Canute never really experienced the world due to Ragnar. He never experienced the world due to Ragnar. Ragnar always sheltered Canute. He always sheltered him in a way that was like, hey, this is how it is to be a slave, or this is how it is to be a servant. And that's how he raised the prince. You can't raise a prince from a servant. You have to raise the prince to value the world, to value the crown, to value what it means to actually lead his people. And that's kind of what Canute didn't understand when Thorfinn first met him, and that's why you can see the demeanor. Like, if you look at Thorfinn's face and then you look at Canute's face, they are completely different. They have the different demeanor. You can just see it in the person's eyes. And obviously that's what Askeladd always did throughout the series, was he was able to tell who a man was just by looking at him. And you can do that in your day-and-day society. Like, you can look into somebody's eyes and you can see whether or not they're determined to go one direction, or they are just BSing themselves and wanting something to change, when in reality, they are never going to put in the work. You have to put in the work every single day to become stronger, otherwise you're never going to be able to defeat your enemies. And that all comes from this one event that happens to Thorfinn when Thor dies. He realized that he had to change to become stronger, and then on the battlefield, that's when it really set in, and he realized what it really took to be a warrior. And being a child at such a young age and having to deal with that traumatic event is going to change you. It's going to change who you are as a person. Same thing happened to Canute. When Canute lost Ragnar to Askeladd, but he didn't know that in the beginning, he had to change. He had to become somebody that was stronger. He stood up to Thorkell. He stood up to Thorkell, who essentially is the strongest, most Viking man's man that anybody can aspire to be. Obviously, Thorfinn took him out, chopped off 2 of his fingers the first time he fought after pretty much being beaten to death. Thorfinn's just a fucking badass when it comes down to this. Like, he is insane on the battlefield. He's so fucking cool when he fights. But when his emotions get involved, just as anybody else's, when our emotions get involved, we become weak, we become complacent, we allow ourselves not to think as clearly because the emotions are killing us. And this is one of the main reasons why he was never able to beat Askeladd, because Askeladd would get in his head. He'd play mind games. And you know, when somebody plays mind games, you're going to lose every single time unless you have a strong mind. If you have a strong mind, if you have a strong will to keep moving forward, you're going to do that. And that's what happened to Canute after he lost his caretaker, essentially. And he talked to the priest, and he realized that if he wanted to truly make a difference in this world, he had to change who he was as a person. If Canute would have been the same passive, scared little child boy that he was, he would never have been able to become the true king. And if he wasn't able to become the true king, then the world never would have changed, and his old father would have gone and attacked all these people and done all the wrong things in war, because that's what the crown commanded him to do. Yet the crown doesn't command anybody. You have to be the one that commands the crown. And that's what Canute was going to do, and that's what Askeladd saw within him, because he realized that Canute had changed after he lost Ragnar. Once he lost him, he realized he was a completely different man. He was able to define and re-rule the world in the way that he wanted to rule the world. I really hope you guys can't hear that right now. If you can, I do apologize. Somebody's taking a shower, I think. To go anywhere meaningful in life, or at least to change who you are as a person, you're going to have a massive event happen to you. It could be a loss of a family member, it could be moving out on your own, it could be just losing something that's dear to you. And it's going to change you as a person. You're not going to be the same person that you were, because you're going to have to grow into something completely new, into someone different, to be able to face with these new struggles that are coming your way. And that's why you're going to want to make sure that you train hard to prepare yourself for an event like that. Or at least after the event happens, train hard and don't do the same thing that you were doing before, because I have a feeling that many people out there right now watching my video, and I'm talking to you, yes, you listening right now, you're going to have to change what you're doing. If you don't like where you see your life going, you're going to have to change who you are as a person. That could just be reading more books, it could be listening to more podcasts, it could be talking to more strangers, it could be watching less anime. You're going to have to stop what you're doing and change who you are as a person. If you don't do that, you're going to be stuck living the same life that you're living. You're going to be stuck in your mom's basement. You're going to be stuck at the same dead-end job. You're going to be stuck and miserable living the same life that you're living, because you haven't had the courage to change. Thorfinn, he had the courage to change. Canute, he had the courage to change. Askeladd, he had the courage to change. Do you, though? I think you do. I know you do. And I know you can. It's just, are you willing to do it? If you want to take the chance, if you want to take the risk, risk it. Risk it all. Nothing else is going to come for you. Nobody's going to come and save you. Like, look at Thorfinn. His, obviously, there's Leif, L-E-I-F, I think. He was looking for Thor, but Thorfinn didn't want to go back. He was like, no, I'm with my real family right now. Nobody's going to come save you. You're all on your own. Obviously, there might be even people in your life that try and take you out. Like Canute, his own father tried to take him out because he didn't think he was worthy to rule the throne. You're going to have to realize that it's all on you. If you want something to happen, if you want something to change, you're going to have to put in the work. You're going to have to train hard. You're going to have to stay up later, wake up earlier. You're going to have to miss out hanging out with like your friends or doing whatever you want to do for a short period of time. It's not going to last forever. It's temporary, bro. It's temporary. And this temporary time when you spend on developing yourself and who you are as a person, you're going to have a way better outlook on life than you would have if you didn't do something like that. So just make sure that you maintain your honor, that if you have an event that has tested you so far in your life, learn from it, evolve from it, and make sure that something like that never happens again, because you don't want to have to go through those same feelings, those same emotions that you did back in the past. And this obviously starts by having a stronger mind and training your body to be able to put up with these events that could happen in the future, because most of the time, if you don't know history, you don't learn from the past, it's bound to repeat itself. There's one last thing that I want to talk to you guys about too. If you guys aren't already following me on Instagram, links down in the bio, but there's a few people that I asked, I was like, why did you like Vinland Saga? Few people, I thought their comments were pretty good. Just the historical setting was amazing. Simply Askeladd, I'm guessing that's what he said. The plot twist and character development was on par. I absolutely loved the character development. It was unreal with what they did with the series. I binge watched probably like 15 episodes the first day. And obviously when Askeladd revealed who he was, I was mind blown away. It felt like Russell Crowe and Gladdy. I haven't seen that movie, but I have a feeling that it was absolutely amazing. And I love series where you get the plot twist of like, what just happened? I love that type of shit. And I have a feeling you guys do too. So if you did, just please leave a like on this video. Drop a comment down below of how you think I could better serve you. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Thanks. Bye.